Princess Lysira Valen was 19 years old and already feared across the Aurelian Star Dominion. Not because she was cruel, though she could be. Not because she was powerful, though she held authority few could challenge. She was feared because she had never been questioned. Raised among admirals, governors, and warrior lords, Lysira had been taught one truth from the moment she could speak. Royals command. Others obey. Humans, she was told, were a junior species. Clever, persistent, useful in war, but ultimately replaceable. So when the human delegation entered the grand concourse, Lysira barely looked up. Commander Aaron Hale walked to the front of the human delegation. No ceremonial armor, no weapons, no exaggerated posture, just a dark uniform, simple insignia, and calm eyes that scanned the chamber with professional awareness. Alien nobles whispered immediately, "That's him." He looked small. A human led the counteroffensive. Lysira finally raised her gaze and frowned. That's it? This was the human strategist the council praised? The one credited with saving 3 Aurelian fleets during the border war? She expected something louder, more desperate, someone eager to impress. Aaron stopped at the marked position and inclined his head, not a bow, not submission, just acknowledgement. That alone annoyed her. So, Lysira said, her voice carrying effortlessly through the hall, "This is the human everyone speaks of." Soft laughter rippled among the younger nobles. Aaron said nothing. Lysira circled him slowly, openly appraising him the way one might inspect a defective machine. "You don't look impressive," she continued. "Smaller than I imagined. Less intimidating." Her advisor stiffened. Aaron's expression remained neutral. "You humans have a talent for exaggerating your importance," Lysira said coolly. "You should consider yourself fortunate we tolerate your presence among us." The whole fell silent. Not shocked, expectant. Everyone waited for the human response. Anger, protest, submission. Aaron finally met her eyes. There was no rage in them, only disappointment. Aaron inhaled slowly. Then he toned and walked away. No raised voice, no argument, no insult in return. Just steady footsteps echoing across the marble floor. Gasps broke out instantly. Lysira's eyes widened. "Stop." He didn't. "I did not dismiss you," she snapped. Aaron paused at the doorway, but did not turn around. "I serve humanity," he said calmly, "not humiliation." The doors slid open. "When respect isn't mutual," he added, "my presence is unnecessary." And then he was gone. The chamber erupted. He walked away from a royal. A human refused a princess. Does he wish to provoke war? Lysira stood frozen, her confidence shattered in a single moment. No one had ever done that. Ever. An elder admiral stepped forward carefully. "Your Highness." Commander Hale coordinated the evacuation that saved our third armada. Another added, he refused 3 honors, said respect mattered more than medals. Lysira said nothing. Her chest felt tight. That night, sleep refused to come. Lysira replayed the scene endlessly. Not the insult she delivered, but the way he left. No anger, no fear, no need to prove anything. Why didn't he argue? Why didn't he beg? Humans were supposed to be emotional. Yet he had shown restraint that unsettled her far more than defiance. She whispered into the dark, "Who are you, really?" At the human embassy, Aaron stood on a balcony overlooking the alien city. One of his aides hesitated. "So, walking away from a royal could cost us everything." Aaron didn't look back. "We didn't cross the stars to be treated as less than people," he said quietly. "Humans don't beg for dignity." The stars reflected in the glass. And somewhere in a golden palace, a 19-year-old alien royal felt something new for the first time in her life. Doubt. Princess Lysira Valen had ruled rooms since childhood. A raised eyebrow silenced generals. A single word redirected fleets. A glare ended arguments before they began. Yet now, sitting alone in the high council chamber, she felt something unfamiliar clawing at her chest. Helplessness. "Summon the human," Lysira said sharply. Her chief steward, Merrick, hesitated just long enough to be noticed. "Immediately," she added. Merrick bowed and activated the channel. The reply came faster than expected. Lycera read it once, then again, then slowly lowered the tablet. He declined, she asked, voice flat. Merrick nodded carefully. Yes, Your Highness. His exact words were, I do not attend courts where dignity is optional. The chamber went silent. A refusal, not a delay, not an excuse. A refusal. Lycera felt heat rise in her face. Summon him again. This time, make it clear this is a royal command. Merrick swallowed but obeyed. Minutes passed. Then the second response arrived. Shorter, colder. Respect cannot be commanded. By midday, the palace buzzed with rumor. He refused her twice. A human turned down a royal summons. Is Earth provoking us? Lycera could feel the shift. Her authority still stood, but a hairline fracture had appeared. Punish him, and she would prove his point. Force him, and she would look insecure. For the first time in her life, power had limits. That evening, Lycera requested Aaron Hale's full record. Not a summary. Everything. What she found unsettled her deeply. Born on a low-gravity colony. Entered service early. Known for walking away from negotiations when disrespected. Coordinated 3 joint evacuations under enemy fire. Refused noble title from 4 allied systems. One line burned into her thoughts. Subject values mutual respect above authority or reward. She whispered, above authority. Elder Threx, ancient and sharp-eyed, stood nearby. Humans fight differently, he said quietly. Not for status, not for fear, but for choice. Lycera scoffed weakly. Choice is a luxury. Threx looked at her. So is dignity, apparently. Lycera tried a different approach. She sent an invitation, not a command. Formal, neutral, cold. Aaron's reply came hours later. I will speak when treated as an equal. Equal. The word felt like an insult and a challenge. That night, Lycera stood on her balcony overlooking the city. The human embassy glowed faintly in the distance. She had insulted him publicly. He had not insulted her back. He had simply removed himself. And that hurt more than any retaliation could have. Why won't you kneel? She whispered. The answer frightened her. Because he doesn't need to. At the human embassy, Aaron sat with his team. You're becoming a symbol. 1-8 warned. Aliens are watching. Aaron nodded. Good. You're not angry. He shook his head. Anger gives power away. Walking away keeps it. Outside, alien stars shimmered. Inside a palace of gold and crystal, a 19-year-old royal realized something terrifying. She could command armies, but not respect. And the human who walked away without a word had more of it than she ever had. Princess Lycera Valen had never walked the streets without an honor guard, never worn anything without insignia, never entered a building where her name did not open doors. Yet here she was, standing outside the human embassy, dressed plainly, her crest removed, her hands trembling slightly at her sides. No trumpets, no announcements, no authority, just a 19-year-old alien girl facing the consequences of her own pride. The embassy entrance was unguarded by soldiers. Only a single human receptionist looked up as Lycera approached. I'm here to see Commander Aaron Hale, Lycera said. The receptionist blinked, then smiled politely. Do you have an appointment? Lycera hesitated. No. I'm sorry, the human replied calmly. Then I can't let you in. Lycera stared. She was the heir to the Aurelian Dominion. Entire worlds bowed when she spoke. And this human simply waited. Her throat tightened. Please, tell him I'm here. The receptionist studied her face for a moment, then nodded. I'll pass along the message. Lycera waited. Minutes stretched into an hour. No response. No guards. No insults. No acknowledgement. Just silence. And for the first time, Lycera understood what Aaron had felt in her court. Finally, the doors slid open. Aaron Hale stood there, arms crossed, expression unreadable. You're blocking the entrance, he said mildly. That's a fire safety issue. Lycera blinked. That wasn't what she prepared for. I came to speak with you, she said quietly. He tilted his head. As a royal. She swallowed. No. Something shifted in his gaze. He stepped aside. Then come in. Aaron didn't lead her to a grand hall. He led her to a small meeting room. 2 chairs, a table, a kettle steaming softly. No banners, no guards. Lycera sat stiffly. This room, Aaron said as he poured tea, has ended 3 interstellar disputes. She frowned. Hey. Turns out, he said dryly, people talk better when no one's trying to impress anyone. Despite herself, Lycera let out a quiet, surprised laugh. It startled her. Silence settled. Lycera took a breath. I insulted you, she said. Publicly. Intentionally. Aaron nodded. Yes. I believed humans were beneath us, she continued, voice shaking. I was taught that authority mattered more than dignity. He met her eyes. And now, she whispered, I don't know. She clenched her fists. You walked away. And somehow that hurt more than if you had shouted at me. Aaron leaned back. Because I didn't need to win. Her eyes widened. That's what you don't understand yet, he said gently. Humans learned long ago, respect given freely is worth more than obedience forced. Lycera's breath caught. No one had ever spoken to her like this. Not advisors. Not generals. Not family. You're young, Aaron continued. 19, right. Lycera stiffened. My age is not. An insult, he finished. It's context. She hesitated, then nodded. You were raised in a system that taught you power equals worth, he said. That's not your fault. Her eyes burned. But, he added, what you do after realizing that is on you. Silence. Then Lycera bowed her head. I am sorry, she said. Not as a princess. As a person. Aaron studied her for a long moment. Then he smiled, soft, human, warm. That, he said, is the first real thing you said to me. When Lycera left the embassy, she was changed, not humbled, awakened. The rumors spread quickly. The princess went alone. She apologized. The human didn't bow. And something extraordinary happened across the Dominion. People began talking, not about power, but respect. That night, Lycera stared at the stars from her balcony. She had more authority than ever. And yet, she felt lighter, stronger, not because she commanded, but because she had chosen. And far away, Aaron Hale watched the same stars, knowing the hardest battle had been won without a single weapon drawn. The grand concourse was unusually quiet. Word had spread like wildfire across the Aurelian Star Dominion. Princess Lycera Valen, 19 years old and heir to the throne, had gone to the human embassy alone. She had spoken to Commander Aaron Hale, and she had apologized. Whispers rippled through nobles, generals, and advisors alike. She apologized to a human. And he didn't kneel. This is unprecedented. Aaron didn't enter the hall with trumpets or fanfare. He walked slowly, calmly, eyes forward, not afraid, not arrogant, just himself. When Lycera stood to greet him, she did not bow fully. She offered only a slight nod, her personal acknowledgement of respect. The court froze. Even the council's most senior members could not hide their astonishment. Humans had been underestimated across galaxies. Yet here was one walking into a throne room, unarmed, unbowed, and commanding quiet attention through presence alone. Lycera raised her chin, voice steady. Commander Hale, the council wishes to discuss the terms of the upcoming joint fleet maneuvers. Aaron inclined his head respectfully. I will participate, on the condition that discussion is mutual and respectful. Murmurs ran through the room. Some of the older generals scoffed. Mutual respect, one muttered. A human dictating terms to royalty. Lycera's gaze snapped toward him. Her chest swelled. Not my fear anymore. Not my pride. Respect is owned. I support his request, she said firmly. And so will the council. Dismiss any dissenters. The whole went silent again. It was done. A human had forced a princess to stand beside him, not above him, not below, but equally. Later, In private, Erin leaned against the balcony railing as Lycera approached. "Do you ever sleep?" she asked, a faint smile tugging at her lips. "Occasionally," he said, "though humans have a reputation for functioning well on stress. You'll get used to it." Lycera laughed softly, a warm, unguarded sound. It surprised even her. "Your humor is inappropriate for court," she teased. "I call it effective diplomacy," he replied. It was the first time they shared laughter. Not command, not authority, just human and alien, two individuals connecting. The next day, the fleet briefing began. Nobles expected chaos. Humans were supposed to falter under scrutiny. But Aaron spoke clearly, calmly, and logically. He coordinated alien and human tactics, respected the princess's insight, and acknowledged every officer's input. By the end, a plan emerged, not perfect, but precise, efficient, and respected by all parties. The court finally murmured, "Humans are capable of more than we imagined." Lycera looked at Aaron, admiration shining in her eyes. He taught respect without demanding it. He acted with heart without weakness. He carried HFY in every move. Later, in the quiet of the palace gardens, Lycera turned to him. "You changed the way I see humans," she admitted. "I thought arrogance and pride ruled your kind. I was wrong." Aaron smiled gently. "Some of us are like that. Most of us are like this." He gestured broadly, encompassing both the stars above and the palace around them. Respect, patience, courage, and a willingness to do what's right, even when it's hard. That's humanity. Her lips curved into a smile, and for the first time, Lycera felt truly seen, not as a princess, but as a person. "And you," she said softly, "taught me that fear can be replaced with trust. Pride can become admiration. Authority can coexist with respect." Aaron reached out, a simple, human gesture, hand extended. Not a bow, not dominance, just connection. Lycera took it. Firm, equal. The court may have seen a royal and a human. But here, in the quiet garden, there were two beings learning, growing, and honoring each other. In the weeks that followed, stories of Aaron Hale's integrity, humor, and bravery spread across the Dominion. He had faced alien power and walked away without fear. He had earned the respect of a princess who once insulted him publicly. He had proven that heart, patience, and human ingenuity could reshape perception across galaxies. Lycera often reflected on that first insult, the one that had started it all. She had expected a human to bend, to plead, to falter. Instead, he had turned and walked away. And in that simple act, he had taught her more about respect, courage, and partnership than anyone in her life had ever done. HFY wasn't loud. It wasn't violent. It wasn't even flashy. It was subtle, quiet, and profoundly powerful. A human showing that dignity, humor, and heart are stronger than fear, arrogance, or force.